YouTube. Let's go, YouTube. All right, I think we're live. We're live. Oh, hey. I don't know. It's Wednesday. Fuck. I thought it was Monday. I honestly just have lost track of the days. What's up, everybody? Hope you're great. Happy Wednesday, apparently. So just recently today, I got my labs back that were run on 9/3 for total testosterone on this cycle. The cycle breakdown again is 100 milligrams of testosterone propionate per day, with the addition of 3 pumps of testosterone cream per day. That is 70 milligrams injected intramuscularly in the morning and 30 milligrams injected intramuscularly in the evening, and then 3 pumps of cream in the morning. Now, these labs surprise me. My total testosterone, not really my free testosterone, that doesn't surprise me, but these total testosterone labs do surprise me because I thought they would be slightly different than they are. So first, though, with just 100 milligrams of testosterone propionate, I would like to see where, what do we got here? Steroid plotter. Let's see where steroid plotter has me. Okay. There's the window capture. Just, I gotta take me down a little. That's where steroid plotter would have me, which is 5,423 nanograms per deciliter at my total peak of running 100 milligrams of testosterone propionate a day. Now listen, this is inaccurate. I'm going to show you the bloods in a second here. But what's weird about this is that it is usually very accurate, right? When I was running 70 of prop and 3 pumps of cream every other day, it had me peaking at 3,200 or 3,300 or something. And my bloods literally came back at like 3,300. It was so accurate. It was spooky. But this has me peaking at 5,423. And this is not accurate. So let's look at my labs and see what they actually say for total testosterone on cycle. Boom. All right, so I'll make this as big as I can here. We'll scooch it over this way. All right, so these are my labs for running this cycle of 100 milligrams testosterone propionate a day. Total testosterone came in at 4,016. We're running the LCMS, which can detect testosterone levels above 1,500. You know, you have to pay a little extra for this test, and it actually takes longer to get this. I ran this on the 3rd, and today's the 11th, so it took 7 days, 8 days for this to come. Now, what's weird about this, so, okay, I had injected the day prior 70 milligrams in the morning, 3 pumps of cream in the morning, 30 milligrams at 5 p.m. that day. And then when I ran this was effectively on the trough, if you will, right? You know, I mean, God, so it was 5 p.m. the last injection. 5 p.m. the next day would have been 24 hours. So like noon or so would have been the peak. So maybe I am starting to trough on prop and cream sooner. Yeah, I would wager that that's the case here, because I came in lower than I expected here. The free testosterone, the free testosterone is at 1,473.9 picograms per milliliter. The top of the reference range for free testosterone is 155 picograms per milliliter. So you can imagine what the hell is happening in my body. All kinds of wacky shit, bro. I'm going crazy, and I actually feel great. I feel really, really good on this cycle. So here are the labs. You know what? I guess what I theorize is happening here is I must be clearing that testosterone faster than if I was at a lower dose, because I've run 70 of prop every other day and 3 pumps of cream every other day and came in at 3,300. So 100 of prop every day and 3 pumps of cream every day. I would certainly expect to see it above 4,000, probably somewhere around 5,500, even 6,000. But I came in at 4016. How do I feel? First of all, no sleep problems. Again, some of you guys are going to hate me for this, but I don't have any sleep problems on this level of testosterone. I don't have any anxiety. I feel great. I'm very strong in the gym. I've been going in the evenings now as opposed to going in the mornings. I've been going about 5 p.m., 4 or 5 p.m. I just went like an hour ago, whatever, to the gym. And that was awesome. I just feel like I have a little more energy in the evening, probably because of all the calories that I've eaten throughout the day. So I've been enjoying that. I've been enjoying the strength. I've been enjoying the less breaks between sets. You know, I'm really not taking big breaks between sets. I'm just getting away. I'm doing the minimal amount necessary for a break. Walking away, you know, fucking around on my phone. Minute at most. Going back to the bench, going back to the whatever. Prepping myself for the next set and going to town. I have dihydrotestosterone labs that were done, I think, on the 5th of September. So a couple days later. So that they should be here any minute. I've got estradiol labs from the 5th. When I was having some libido issues, and then ran some calcium D-glucarate, largely resolved those libido issues, and then I ran estradiol sensitive again on the 6th. Okay, so we're going to get all kinds of really good information from that, namely where my estradiol was before I touched it, and then how much a mere 500 milligrams of calcium D-glucarate lowered the estrogen. It may be exactly the same. I mean, it could be 20 points less. I really don't know what it's going to be because this cycle is unpredictable in terms of labs. There might be a case for, you know, having so much testosterone that your body is working to clear it more, because I was almost sure I'd be at 5,500 minimally, but listen, I'll take 4,016. Again, no other side effects. Again, mild dick problems last week. What is it? Wednesday? Yeah, it was like, leading into Saturday or so. Morning wood basically had kind of gone away. I had some libido issues last week. Just libido. I wasn't thinking about sex and I really couldn't care. You know, I was just like, whatever. I mean, I know when my libido isn't great, and it wasn't particularly great. Since bringing the DHT gel in though, that solves that problem pretty fucking quickly, and the boner problem. So we're all good. But that doesn't, I mean, you know, it's curious to me because the amount of DHT that I have here really should be offsetting the effect of estradiol on the sexual system. However, exogenous, you know, androstenedione gel is a different thing in terms of potency and likely agonism at the androgen receptors than, you know, my own innate DHT, obviously. You know, so that is something really interesting. Let's talk about Physique. So yeah, again, I'm growing. I'm finally now, again, the first, I'm going to say 2.5 weeks of this cycle, I really didn't notice much. I saw my shoulders growing a little bit. I felt stronger in the gym. But I didn't see much size. I didn't actually look all that different. I just started transforming in the last 2 weeks, basically, where my pumps are looking fucking crazy. I, you know, have substantially increased the weight on my bench, just flat bench, you know, increased on incline press, you know, the amount of reps for weight that I've been pushing, but I've increased, I've got 2 full plates on each side. So I don't know what that is. If the bar is 45, these are 45 plates, so 45, 45, 90, 90, 180 plus the 45 in the bar. Benching that for 7 or 8 reps now. Whereas, you know, I can only push 1 or 2 prior to that. And I'm really enjoying that. So my physique, I think I've got a picture of me just hanging out in my backyard without shaving anything. So I did let my chest hair grow a little bit. That's one of the other things that I'm noticing about the DHT gel is that my fucking body hair is growing quicker. I had to shave quicker, and I've got to manage my beard more significantly. The sides of my hair seem to be growing fucking quicker, although the top is, you know, just whatever. But yeah, that's the physique. Again, the biggest differences that I'm noticing is everything is just fucking bigger. I feel bigger. I feel bigger in my clothes. I generally look bigger. I think girls notice this, that I'm dating. And so it's been very interesting. It feels very fucking cool. This is just me hanging out in my backyard. So just so you can see the separation, the striations on my chest, this is me shaved probably around the same time. I think I might have had a pump on that first picture and not on this. on this picture here, so you can actually see some of the separation there, some of the shoulder pop. I'm happy with it so far. I'm happy with it. Guys that look substantially bigger than me and just look insane on testosterone cycles, you have to remember that those people have been running androgens for minimally 2 years, and you're really talking about 3 to 6 years. Some of these guys have been running androgens for substantially longer than that. 10 fucking years. Those are the guys that are looking yoked out of their minds. I've only just kind of graduated, if you will, from TRT doses onto much higher doses of testosterone. So that's where the physique is at the moment. Feeling good, feeling very strong. And those are the testosterone labs. If you guys want to take a gander on those real quick, and I guess we'll get to some questions if you guys have them. Yeah, let's do that. Let's get to questions. Okay. Kind of want to see why that's not shown. All right, give me 1 second, boys. It should just be under it. There you go. Happy Wednesday, brother. Thanks for the super chat. Hope you're great. Hope you're good. Where do you live, by the way, man? What's the weather like? It did a weird thing where it was getting into fall, and then today was 88 degrees. So, don't know, bro. Good to see you too, Brosif. Okay, question about CAB and Proviron. So look, CAB and Proviron are not going to help exclusively. Listen, you've got to take this all into context, and we've talked about this before, that, in these cases, you must have a test base when you're trying to recover from post-finasteride syndrome. The reason you want to have a test base is because, look, you might need estradiol too. And what we'll call sexual dysfunction is high levels of DHT or high levels of androgen receptor agonism without adequate estradiol. That's going to cause sexual dysfunction regardless. As good as DHT gel is, and as good as oral DHT powder is, and as good as Proviron is to a lesser extent, these things in the context of crashed estrogen or not enough estrogen, you're not really going to have libido. Think of estrogen as not like the necessary factor for libido, but think of estrogen as so direct action on some brain regions regarding libido, but more the coordinator of libido. It's the coordinator of libido. So, when it's crashed, you have a lack of libido, or it's low, you have lack of libido, and you also have some erection issues. If it goes down below into the fucking gutter, you're gonna have erection issues. So if you have PFS, anybody that's trying to recover from any sexual dysfunction, you need to have a test base so that you make enough estrogen. That's the bottom line. Estrogen is just it's a very spooky hormone. We've come to learn all kinds of shit about it when we've, pushed the limits of testosterone running out of anabolic compounds in that, like, it being very low in and of itself is a cause of sexual dysfunction. Just low estrogen. I mean, you could have sky high test and low estrogen and you wouldn't have sexual function. My labs right now at this level of testosterone, if I had taken like a milligram of Arimidex, I mean, I would not have libido. My libido is really great right now. Erections are really great right now. But if I took a milligram of Arimidex, there's no way I wouldn't even think about sex. I'd want to off myself. I'd feel fucking terrible with estrogen that low. I respond very favorably, positively to Arimidex, and that would take my estradiol down very low. So the answer to this question is no. Test base, DHT derivative or DHT itself, HCG, and then dialing in the doses and the bloods on those things, ultimately to get where you need to be, which is going to take a lot of experimentation. But then there's all these other kind of less important but still relevant markers, like, is your SHBG at 50? That's a problem. You're going to want to get it down to 30. So you got to look at how you're going to get that down. Yeah, Proviron would help. Bolus injections would help. Boron would help in those situations. So it's a very complex thing, and CAB is not particularly useful in PFS. No, I think there are better dopaminergic agents if you're trying to do that. Thoughts on Proviron versus boron for increasing free test and lowering SHBG? Proviron will be a lot more effective than boron, but boron is still effective. Yep, definitely still effective. Yeah, cardio now is 2 miles a day. 2 miles a day still getting out there, trying to run outside, like, while it's reasonable. I'm still going to do it when it's cold. I've got cold weather gear that I got. Basically this thermal shit, but that doesn't feel like thermal. Thermal gear is itchy and it's just kind of terrible to wear. I don't know. It's like, who wears that? Like 48-year-old Gus, that lives in fucking Tennessee in the woods. Where's that shit? I can't wear that stuff, but I do have some cold weather gear that's like thermals, but is actually very physically comfortable to run in the winter. And I'm gonna do it this year. I've done it many other years. I've ran in the fucking snow, bro. I will do it. Fantastic List says, brother is surprising us, knowing the importance of good quality sleep for gym and everything else. What a best stack to ensure a deep sleep. Best stack for deep sleep, magnesium, picamidin, theanine. All those will be effective. Magnesium strokes the GABA A receptors, so that's usually pretty useful. I mean, honestly, good old fashioned melatonin. Don't sleep on melatonin. Don't sleep on melatonin. You will sleep on melatonin. It's pretty good. I mean, and I wouldn't be dosing substantially high amounts of melatonin to get that response. Just, dose of 1 milligram, 3 milligram. That shit should shut you down so long as your neurotransmitters are in a good place. But I'd say the single most effective thing for inducing sleep is valerian root. Yeah. You're going to wake up groggy in the morning, but it's a trade-off. If you really want that sleep, use valerian root, and that'll do what you need. Yeah, I think what I'm benching is 225 at this point. Yeah, it's heavy, but look, man, it's fucking great. Like all the other dudes at the gym who will never bench 225. It's great doing that. I've pushed it before on TRT doses, but it was fucking hard. I maybe pushed 3 reps, and I'm like, all right, I'm at failure. I don't want to take a chance of having, to call somebody to help me. But now 7, 8 reps, 9 reps, I think I pushed on my first set today. So it is crazy how a testosterone cycle transforms you in terms of strength. It is out of this world. Of course, I've saw, people talk about it in the past, but I you don't really know how that is until you actually experience it. And sitting at 4,016 nanograms per deciliter with a free test of 1473. I just have to laugh looking at this because it's so ridiculous. Look at that free test number. Isn't that fucking stupid? It's stupid. It's honestly ridiculous. But at those levels of testosterone, your protein synthesis is through the roof. And I'm eating a lot of meat right now. A lot of meat, pork every day, twice a day, pork or beef. Big hefty servings. So that's that. Yeah. Speaking of that, fat loss has been very easy, or the inability, or just like not gaining fat on the cycle has been easy. Adding DHT gel recently has like kind of increased my fat loss, which DHT has been known to do. I did that when I ran Proviron last. It was really interesting how my face chiseled out and my shoulders got more capped out. It was fucking bizarre, but it was just easy for me to eat a lot and still look very lean. Ron Farva, is anxiety on TRT cycle indicative of high or low estrogen, or is it a symptom of stimulation of the nervous system? It is likely high estrogen that you can't tolerate. Yeah, I've got some bioidentical estrogen cream that I've used to save myself in situations where I ran some experiment and I fucking fucked estrogen completely. And it would have taken 2 weeks to bring it back. Like one time I took too much aromacin. That would have taken 2 weeks to get back. So I had to use that stuff to bring it back. And one of those times I pushed the estrogen too far, and yep, my heart, sure enough, my fucking heart started pounding. I generally felt fine, but I felt nervous. I was at a restaurant waiting for my date at the time. And I remember sitting there like, just not feeling my normal, cool, casual, confident self. And that's estrogen. So yes, estrogen can be very fucking stimulating. Definitely estrogen if it gets too high, too quick, and you're not used to that. If it gradually goes up and you get used to that higher estrogen, like I can tolerate higher estrogen on cycle for sure, but just not too high, then you're fine. You'll be better. But if you suddenly get to levels of estrogen your body's never dealt with before, yes, you're going to feel fucking anxiety, dude. Yeah, you're not going to feel good. At the same time, dihydrotestosterone, not really testosterone, but dihydrotestosterone can cause a stimulated feeling where you sort of feel like you're just like overclocked, like if you, this gaming PC back here, I do this thing called overclocking it, which is where I crank up the ability for it to hold memory and do all these fucking things. And that's for gaming. It performs better. But, you get overclocked on very high DHT. I had that on the first 3 days of using the DHT gel, and now it went away. So that's a beautiful thing. I'm still running the DHT gel just because I like what it is doing. Tip of the spear. How different does high dose Proviron feel compared to oral DHT? This is a great question because it is vastly different. All right. So the DHT, the actual DHT gel feels cleaner. There's no direct aromatase inhibition action. So I'm not lowering estrogen, at least by inhibiting aromatase, which these days more and more gives me side effects when I inhibit aromatase. I can lower estrogen, fine, it's better. But using aromatase inhibitors, anything that actually binds to the aromatase enzyme in some way, that causes me to have side effects. DHT doesn't do that though, whereas Proviron does. You know, what DHT really is doing is antagonizing estrogen at the genetic level after it binds to the receptor, so doing nothing with the serum. But at the same time, because DHT has a multifold higher affinity for the androgen receptor, and it disassociates five times like less long than testosterone. Like testosterone disassociates from the androgen receptor relatively quickly. DHT stays at that androgen receptor 5 times more, whereas testosterone would disassociate and leave the receptor. In that regard, there's less testosterone available to be aromatized. And so you just naturally aromatize less with actual DHT. That's my understanding of it at this point. And so that feeling is very different because you're lowering estrogen, and it's usually useful. To an extent it's lowered, but you're not inhibiting aromatase, which is different. If you can figure out how to lower estrogen naturally by DHT or your own DHT, that's just better than taking an aromatase inhibitor regarding side effects. Anything else? Proviron was great for the sexual system, but DHT, like I said, it gave me like priapism erections. Those are painful, troublesome erections where you think like, fuck, am I going to have to go get this drained at the ER type of erections? You know, I think it's like the general advice is at hour 4, if you still have a very strong erection, then you should go to the ER because then you risk damage to tissues in the penis. So you don't want to fucking do that. So the oral DHT was pushing me, you know, again, the erections went down, but they were very strong and painful and powerful, whatever. Whereas Proviron would do that, but not at the duration, the level of duration of the erections that oral, gel DHT, transdermal DHT is able to induce. But remember, this is all in the context of high testosterone and elevated estrogen. I don't think this DHT gel would do much for me in terms of sexual function if I didn't have a test base and I didn't have estrogen. So keep that in mind, brothers. All right. 75. Awesome. Yeah. You guys over there in California. California. Absolutely, bro. Sorry, man. Honestly, I'm sorry. Matt, what are your thoughts on metformin? I saw your video a while ago with Dave Lee. Yeah. So metformin via controlling blood sugar and modulating insulin can be helpful to control aromatase, right? So that it doesn't get out of control. That's what Dave brought to my attention. I hadn't studied it up until that point, so I had to look into it, and sure enough, he's right. So that's my take on that. Derek is in the North Bay. That's California as well, I assume. Brandon James, I've run 250 milligrams tests with 1 to 2 clicks daily of crane combo, never controlation. What is crane combo? Never heard of that. Never heard of that, brother. You're going to have to fill us in. Fill us in the comments. Fill us in, bro. Robert Washington. Crane combo. Can Primo lower SHBG2? Yes. Too much, and any tips to keep that in balance? It's a hard one because ultimately elevated estrogen is what keeps SHBG from going super low. It's one of the things that keeps SHBG from going super low. You could also stop injecting every day. You know, you just constantly inject testosterone, that SHBG is going to go down. Whereas if you can tolerate less frequent injections, and I understand that people don't, I can't tolerate it. You eventually can tolerate it, but you've got to work on your cardio. You got to work on your health, your vitamin intake, your diet, your hopefully reduction of alcohol, or complete removal of alcohol from your system, from your life, from your regimen. And then you'd be able to tolerate less frequent bolus doses of testosterone. I've done it myself. I've replicated that in clients. It takes work, but you can do it. And there your SHBG would not be squashed as much. Those would be my best pieces of advice. Venom Flex. I noticed boron also significantly lowers my estrogen. Anybody else? Yeah. Here's the weird thing about boron. Have you fucking researched that? What is it? In women, it elevates estradiol, but there was one study where in men it lowered estradiol somewhat significantly. I don't know the mechanism for that. It's not aromatase inhibition. And there's also the conflicting information out there indicating it could make estrogen go up in men. So it's a weird one. I've never run it and then tested estradiol to see if I had lowered it. It's entirely possible via some sex hormone binding globulin mechanism that it's dissociating estradiol from the sex hormone binding globulin, and that's not being transported around and it's being degraded faster, something like that. So I don't know. But look, if it's doing it for you, it's doing it for you. Matt, someone with PSC or PFS, how will I know what doses of test plus HCG and Proviron or other hormone therapy medication? You won't. You're going to have to do the experimentation is the answer. You will have to start at 150 milligrams of testosterone enanthate, split up into 2 injections a week, and run that for 4 weeks and see how you fare. Then you might have to switch to 100 milligram. In this case, you guys need higher amounts of everything, you PFS people. So then you might need 100 milligrams twice a week. You might need 70 milligrams every other day. You might do better on, testosterone propionates at 50 milligrams a day. You might find that sub-Q anything doesn't give you anything except for animalism, but that the moment you inject deep intramuscular, and not just any place, I have weird fucking shit where the only way one of my clients gets sexual function on TRT is if he injects in his quad. Deep intramuscular 1.5 inch needle. How the fuck do you explain that? I can't. I can't. I can think about it all I want and think about how there might be a higher density of blood vessels there, that he works his legs out, he moves his legs more, and the rest of his body's not moving as much, so the metabolism is slower in all those areas, but I don't fucking know. And this guy requires an intramuscular injection in order to get everything, and then it works. I've got guys that they're fine on intramuscular injections, and they're just told they should try sub-Q, and they do, and they're never the same. Their body is absorbing it super fucking slow. They go back to IM. 24 hours later, they're good. Deep IM. And some people only the quads. I can't explain it. Point is, you're going to have to do all that experimentation. Might take you a year. Get used to it. Get ready for it, and good luck. That's how you know. Stop trying. I'm going to give you a piece of advice from my heart. Stop trying to get a cookie cutter protocol. That's what you're trying to do. Stop trying to get the answer. The answer is hormones. That's the answer. The answer is hormones. But within the use of those hormones, you will have to find your sweet spot. And that will take experimentation of different esters, different injection frequencies, different injection locations, different injection methods, different doses of everything. Tips for replenishing thiamine. I would just take a bioavailable thiamine supplement. Yeah. You could take benfotiamine or TTFD would likely create the effect that you want sooner. Yeah, I love TTFD. I forget what it stands for, but it's a pretty powerful B1 derivative that is stronger than actually just taking thiamine. Brandon James has SHBG that's always been in the 30s. I do every day or once a week. Good. So the other factors that influence SHBG are really largely controlling that. I'd say you're healthy. What I would say. Solbutamine is also another thiamine derivative that could work. And they've used it in Japan to treat asthenia. Japan, they know all kinds of shit. They also consume a lot of sodium. That Korea. It's over there. You know that. Got Corey weighing in on thiamine HCl, titrating up, planning to introduce benfotiamine or sulbutamine. Yeah, you really should look at TTFD. That stuff is, I had a really interesting time on it. What is testosterone gel? Is it prop, sip, etc.? Testosterone gel is is testosterone, the molecule that is, basically baked into a gel, an alcohol gel that you can rub on your skin, which will be transdermally absorbable. That's what testosterone gel is. Testosterone propionate is an injectable testosterone ester that is suspended in a carrier oil like grapeseed oil or MCT oil or cottonseed oil. Usually the first two that onsets very quickly, that peaks within 18 to 19 hours and then rapidly leaves your system thereafter. Testosterone cypionate is same concept, testosterone molecule suspended in oil attached to an ester, a cypionate ester molecule, which makes it digest, if you will, or metabolize slower in your system, which peaks in a slow manner over 2 to 3 days, after which it starts to trough or leave your system in the same slow manner over the next 2 or 3 days. That's what the differences are. I lost where I was. Great. Fucking awesome. Derek Chadwick says, glad I switched to test prop. I did get my first high E2 sides. Had some Aribidex on hand. I've been feeling great. Awesome. Love that. Yeah, prop is, I'll tell you what, prop is the feel-good ester. It's a feel-good ester. It's like, there have been times where, for convenience sake, and for the convenience of dialing in a protocol with everything being dialed in, enanthate, testosterone enanthate was slightly easier, but I didn't feel as good. I just didn't feel as good. Same thing with cypionate. Cypionate, I mean, for me, 70 milligrams on a regular TRT dose, 70 milligrams every third day, every fourth day, both work. 80 milligrams every fourth, like right around that area, dialed in completely, but I don't feel as good as I do on prop. On prop, I just feel really good, but I've got to dial in my DHEA dose. I've got to dial in estrogen control if I need it. Depends on the dose, really, with TRT. I've just got to dial in all the other coffee. Got to dial in the HCG. Got to dial all that stuff in. And you inject more. It's more cumbersome. It's every day, or it's every other day. So, prop isn't necessarily superior and the rest of this inferior. They'll have their applications, but prop is just a very, very good ester that shouldn't be, sitting in the back seat and no one using it. Like it shouldn't be like this ester that was used first before anything in TRT, by the way, from the 1960s that we just forget about. Thankfully, I've talked about this on this channel, and now prop is much more popular than it's ever been. Okay, Ryan Parsons is asking, talking about libido, it's either the quads or shoulder deep I am with me. Sub-Q doesn't do shit. Here we go. I'm about to do a full breakdown on subcutaneous injections of testosterone versus intramuscular injections of testosterone. You will have people that tell you that it doesn't matter what you do and that either are fine, and that is likely because they haven't seen problems with one or the other. So no, it's like people don't know until they see the problem. I've seen a lot of problems with sub-Q. I do okay with it, but my sexual function is just a little better on intramuscular injections. I think I'm absorbing it faster is basically what I think. I mean, I am obviously, but I also think I'm getting more of it. In sub-Q, it just doesn't. It works, but it doesn't strike the chords as intramuscular injections would. But this here is all over the place. Forget about my clients, the weird guy who needs to inject in his fucking quad intramuscular to get libido and erections on testosterone because he needs to. Forget about that guy. Go to Reddit testosterone and just search IM versus sub-Q, or search switch to sub-Q. It's a good keyword. Switched to sub-Q. Search deep intramuscular. These are keywords I've searched and know that these things come up. Go read. You're going to find all these seeming outliers, but they're more than you think. So are they really outliers? Is this really an anomalous response? I don't think so. I think people will, in terms of effects, do better on intramuscular injections. Doesn't mean said people won't have side effects, which they've got to figure out how to clear. One of those things. Histamine reactions. Oh man, we're talking about histamine here. Yep, guys need to experiment to see what's best for them for sure. For sure. Yeah, I've run every ester at this point except for phenylpropionate. I've not run sustanon, but I've run something similar. I've run prop, enethate, cypionate, cream. I've run the cypionate prop 160 to 40. That's from Empower Pharmacy. That stuff's pretty interesting. It was actually pretty good. Run that. So, you know, run it all. Run it all. Run it all. Ryan, don't sleep on 9-BBC. I've taken many cycles of it. Many cycles of it, my friend. Are you sleeping on 9-BBC? Do you mean don't actually try to sleep on 9-BBC? CJP current stack is 140 milligrams test prop, 90 milligrams Masteron enethate, 70 milligrams Trenace weekly. Feeling great. Love it. Love it. Great stack, dude. Yeah, that's good. I mean, your Masteron enethate's not substantially high to the point where, you know, you might fuck with estrogen. If you had it a ratio of 1 to 1, that might be a problem, but good. This is good. Good. If you're feeling great, you're feeling great. I like how this is also relatively low dosed, you know? It's just not, you know, it's not substantially dosed like super high or through the roof. It's good. It's definitely good, man. Again, for those of you that jumped in a little late, these are the testosterone labs. Booyah. Okay. This is on 100 milligrams testosterone propionate a day. 70 milligrams in the morning, 30 milligrams in the evening, 3 pumps of testosterone cream, 200 milligrams per milliliter in the morning every day. These labs were taken effectively on the trough. It looks like I actually am troughing faster than I thought, faster than the 19-hour mark, because the previous injection was the day before, 70 milligrams in the morning, and then 30 milligrams at about 5 p.m., as well as that cream in the morning. So this morning, that morning was 7 a.m. I'm sure I got there at 7 a.m., like early, right when they opened, before injection. So, you know, I'm obviously peaking a little higher than that. But those are the labs. Feeling great, sleeping great, no anxiety, you know, no problems, feeling very fucking strong. Here's the physique. Non-shaved, everything just looks bigger. Everything feels bigger. Bigger on my clothes. The size of my shoulders are bigger. The size of my chest is bigger. I'm pushing heavier weight. That's shaved, so you can actually see some of the striations. This was 4 or 5 days ago. Hanging out in my backyard with my cat, with my buddy. That's where we are. I think I'm probably a little leaner there than this other one. And those are the labs, boys. Feeling fucking great. Definitely going to continue mission. I might lower the dose somewhat soon, you know? What I've got to do is rerun. I've got to get the hydrotestosterone. I've got to get estradiol. Ran a couple of those. Got to get progesterone just to see what that's at. I'm gonna rerun lipids just to see. Well, they were fucking great mid-cycle. Literally everything in range. My LDL went down. I mean, I'm doing health management stuff. So that's probably why. And so bloods are great. No alarming shit happening at 4,000 nanograms per deciliter total testosterone. Hasn't been a super long time, but no alarming shit as of now. But I am starting to lose more hair. Right? Starting to lose more hair. I'm intermittently using DHT gel, so that's contributing. But regardless, the cycle is doing that. So I've got to design what the next step will be and decide, okay, is this the peak? Like, do I care about the anabolism? I do. I like it. I really like it. You know, that wasn't the main goal. And it'll be higher than TRT will be the next dose, but because I don't want to drop down to 150, I'm going to feel fucking terrible for 2 weeks if I do that. So I think I'm just going to gradually move down, probably make a big drop to 420 a week, then maybe 315, probably settle out there for 6 months to a year, maybe. I don't know. I really don't know. But as of right now, we're running the cycle, and I don't think that's changing at least any time in the in the immediate future. Yeah, Thiamax, that's good stuff. That's the stuff I have. It's hard to say exactly how many milligrams. 700 of injectable TAS for sure, but 3 pumps of cream translates a day translates to 210 milligrams a week. So technically it's 910 milligrams a week. So just under a gram. I don't know. I don't know how that, really translates, but I feel like I'm running that much. But 700 of actual injectable prop every week, every 7 days, 100 a day. Okay, Venum Flex would like to try the DHT cream, just trying to source. Okay, good luck. Don't ask for sources here. You will get banned. Prop is the OG. Prop is the OG. Yeah, Elliot Overton is the guy that popularized TTFT. So he is definitely the guy to watch regarding benfotiamine. I don't really think he talks about sulbutamine much, but TTFT for sure. He's the guy that popularized it. Yeah, Elliot's channel. Forget what it's called, but that guy's a smart guy. Smart guy. Oh, got it. This was like from ages ago. Cool. 250 milligrams a week and 2 clicks of cream. What, every day you're doing the clicks of cream? And you meet. He said, I meet. Brother, you want to check before you hit that enter button? Alpha Evolution. Are there any adverse effects to running HCG long-term 2 to 4 years? If so, any side effect management protocols? I plan on having children one day and I'm worried about having my HPT shut off. Are you running androgens? I assume you are. They're running testosterone or something. Are there any adverse effects of running HCG long-term? No. No, I mean, you will shut down the brain side of this. You're going to shut down the brain side of pumping out gonadotropins, but you're replacing them with HCG. That's what you're doing from the testicular perspective. So it's really not an issue. Not an issue at all. I would just stay on it. Make sure you have a high enough dose of HCG to get adequate fertility. Run fertility tests. I'm not very versed in that because I never had to do it. I never needed to do it. If I'm going to have kids, I will do that, but that time has not come yet in my life. But no, I don't think you have anything to worry about. Brandon James, is it possible that I don't need an E2 blocker since T levels on the brink of 2000? And this is going to depend on the person, man. I know guys that are running cycles like me that don't manage estrogen and they feel fine. And everything works. Dick works and libido works and all that shit. Then I know guys that just absolutely need estrogen control. Me included, past a certain range of estrogen. It took me weeks, almost a month running the cycle and everything worked great. And then libido started to take a shit and so did erection. So I had to work on that. So who knows? Who knows? If you stay at 2000, listen, 2000, all things considered, is not a lot of testosterone. People injecting a mere 200 milligrams of testosterone cypionate per week, if they're injecting infrequently, are peaking at 2,500. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen peaks as high as 27, maybe a little higher than that. 200 milligrams sip a week. That person's metabolizing the shit, powerfully, obviously, but they're peaking up in the stratosphere. So, and some of those guys don't manage estrogen. So it really is going to depend on you. You will know. It's like, for me personally, the signs of elevated estrogen that are too high is I get fucking anxious. My heart pounds through my chest. I feel less confident. My chest itches. It just itches. It's just kind of itching. Wherever I'm doing, wherever I'm out, I'll just be constantly fucking itching. And then I lose morning wood. Libido will go down with estrogen past a certain range. It's great as it comes up, but then it crosses a certain threshold, I feel like, and then I stop being interested in sex. It's really weird. And that may be because it's prolactogenic. Yeah, that's probably what the mechanism for that is. But you'll have to see. You never know. So this is a question about esters and if they're messing with vitamin B1. It's quite possible they do all kinds of shit that we don't know about, that we're just learning about, that we've had to try to figure out, that I've had to figure out over the years what they're doing on the endocrine system. Never know. These things, God, a lot of these drugs are so terrible. They do all kinds of bad shit to people. All kinds of bad shit to people, bro. Bad shit. Devil Dog is at 1,000 nanograms per deciliter at 200 a week. Is that on your trough or is that on your peak? At 210 a week with sub-Q daily injections of cypionate, I was at 1150. So maybe you were injecting very frequently. That's what I was doing when I first started, and I was right around 1150 on that. Now that would send people even doing daily injections at 1,500-1,600. I wouldn't call myself a low responder, but I certainly need more tests to get higher levels. I'm not one of those guys that runs. There are people that run 70 milligrams a week and they shoot up to 1,200. Can you believe that? They're just efficiently using that testosterone. Well, at least it's sitting in the blood. We don't know how efficiently they're using it, but sitting in the serum. Yeah, so 1,000 nanograms per deciliter on 200 a week, daily sub-Q, the injection day before. So this is the trough. Okay, so yeah, this injection day was before. Well, with SIP, I mean, you're doing every day, so you're kind of just staying very, very even. So I don't know that there's necessarily a trough. But okay, good to know. Yeah, I mean, that sounds about right. I bet you could high dose testosterone propionate and get away with it, like I can, because you know the way you're responding to cypionate at that dose, doing every day is how I respond to cypionate, and I can get away with loads of test prop and feel really good. I bet you could too. And you know you might not go as high as you would expect. Again, steroid plotter has me at 5,500, but I am only at 4,000 only compared to 5,500. But this is, I must be clearing the test from my system faster than I usually do. Yeah, because at 3,000, a steroid plotter had me, you know, at 70 milligrams prop every other day, 3 pumps of cream every other day. Steroid plotter had me at 3,200 and my bloods came in right on, it was like right on point, dude. Right on point. But plotter has me now at just 100 milligrams prop a day at 5,500. And it only came in at 4016, so. Must be clearing it faster. Weird shit happens on cycle, I guess. I've never had to look at my labs if they were above 1,700. Never had to look at them. What are the implications of 1,473? It's so ridiculous. Free testosterone. Lots of DHT. Lots of sex drive. Lots of strength. Upregulated metabolic function. One of the things that I've noticed on cycle so far is my ability to eat food without storing it to fat is primed, more primed than it's perhaps ever been. My digestion works better. Don't know what that is, but DHT itself does have a strong interplay with gut motility. So the speed with which you turn your food into absorbable chyme, you know, vitamin absorbable chyme in your intestines, and motility, speed with which your stomach secretes acid, digests food, and pushes it through that process. It's just all better on this higher level of testosterone for sure. My my cardiovascular work, the last 5 days I've noticed that my runs are easier. They're easier. Yeah, I had fucking breath. Like I feel like I can run longer. You know, I guess that's to be expected. I just didn't know. I didn't think it would improve my cardio. I didn't think being on a cycle would improve my cardio, but it seems as if it has. That's anecdotal, but it seems as if it has. It's been really interesting. Again, don't know when I'm going off the cycle. The next step will be to lower the dose to something that is still above a TRT dose, because I don't want to feel terrible in seeming androgen deficiency for 2 weeks, which is what will happen if I would just drop the dose very significantly. That will happen. I don't want to do that. So we're going to see. I got a couple ideas about what I think I want to do. Again, 420 a week would be, 60 milligrams a day. So that is probably what I'm going to do, is just run 60 milligrams a day of either proper test enanthate. It's going to be intramuscular. That might be cumbersome and poking my muscle consistently, but whatever. Not going to be forever. I just don't know yet. I liked how I felt on high dose enanthate until I got test flu. So that might be why I want to do that. As I'm transitioning back to TRT, because I've been hyper managing everything and injecting fucking twice a day and putting on cream once a day and now putting on gel, DHT gel. It's like I kind of, when I cycle back down, I want to get away from all that for a while. I really would like to go back to other things in my life and not have to worry about pinning twice a day and all this shit. So I'm probably going to be pinning a long ester when I get back down. But who knows? I think I want to see, if there's any more weight that I can put. I'm sure there's more weight that I could ultimately end up pushing at the gym. I want to see for my genes, ultimately where my physique can go. For a guy that's never run high doses of testosterone before, beyond regular TRT doses, I'm curious to see, what the genetic, what the genetic blockade is, stopping point, for me in terms of muscle building. So we'll see. And the process should be simple. Obviously, though, if I run into any fucked up side effect that is like fucked up, I will cease fire on the cycle. I'll probably go run a battery of labs, all the cardiac labs, troponin specifically, and C-reactive protein. I'll be if something really fucking weird happens, and if any of those come back wacky, then yeah, I'm off. Then I'll jump right back down to 300 or so. For sure. All right. We got a question here about Vyvanse. Okay, so Freddie's saying, I also used to take Vyvanse for ADHD and started having genital numbness. Yeah, this is something that does happen here, and I think it's related to a depletion of the projection of dopamine. One of the things you'll find is that dopamine is very related in erectile function, first of all, but secondly, sensation. Yeah, very, very closely related. It's not the sole driving thing, but it's a very big help, and if you're depleted in it, you're going to have genital sensation issues. Yeah. Vyvanse does this, by the way, by downregulating the projection points of dopamine because your brain recognizes it has a lot where it needs to be. Same thing happens with serotonin and SSRIs. This region of the brain called the RAF nuclei stops pumping out serotonin. Because the SSRI is forcing serotonin to stay around longer. So that RAF nuclei goes, I don't need to pump out any more serotonin. Why do that? You have enough feedback mechanisms, right? So this is the problem here. This is the problem. That's why these drugs, in my opinion, I don't think they're good. This isn't new to me. Dude, I've been dealing with this shit since 2016, 2017, consulting guys that have that exact fucking problem on those exact drugs. Devil Dog, you going to try twice a week injection on the long ester? Yes. Probably initially either that or every other day would be the closest frequency. I'm not a huge everyday injector of fucking long esters. I can do it. I'd have to inject intramuscularly, and it'd have to be a lot at a time. So there's that, but likely every other day, boluses at once. Again, that's 20. It would be 120 every other day. That's probably what the next step down would be, which is 420 a week. Then it'll be 90 every other day, 45 a day, kind of thing. Which would be 280, right around 300 something a week, something like that. And that's what it's likely going to be. Yeah, they're scary drugs. These are scary drugs, man. I mean, I think all the pharmacological agents that we discuss, can have side effects for sure, but look, they make dopamine reuptake inhibitors so strong for a reason. They have to be effective. And they are effective. Like, they are effective at treating certain conditions. They're highly effective. But the more effective something gets in that realm, not everything, like not every pharmacological agent or pharmaceutical drug, but the more effective, like neurotransmitter modulating drugs get, the worse they fucking are for you. Yeah. The more effective they are, the worse they are. Because none of them are addressing the neurotransmitter problem from the root and making you upregulating systems that produce that neurotransmitter, make it signal better. They're just keeping the neurotransmitter around and preventing it from clearing. Whereas 9-MeBC, as an example, does the opposite. It's like it's improving your synthesis of dopamine. It's improving the synthesis enzymes for dopamine. It's improving dopamine projection. It's upregulating like neurological genes. It's activating genes for dopamine neuron regeneration and differentiation. Totally different than Adderall, So the reuptake inhibitors are really the basis of the problem. The mechanism of these drugs is the basis of the problem because they prevent you from making the shit yourself after a while. Stop making the shit yourself. That's problematic because then after you withdraw the drug, this is why there's syndromes associated with discontinuing certain drugs. After you withdraw the drug, how long until you make your own dopamine again? I mean, you could target yourself a head start by using 9-MeBC and some other drugs, but some people aren't going to know about those compounds or just won't be as lucky. And so how long is it going to fucking take? Might take a while, brothers. Might take a while. All right, boys. So we're going to wrap up the stream. So yeah, just wanted to give you guys some, a glimpse of the test labs. 4,000 nanograms per deciliter, feeling like a fucking golden god. Feel great, sleep great. Feel strong and onward and upward. I've got dihydrotestosterone coming in right around this time that this was ran. So that'll be curious to look at so I can understand the ratio. It'll be just interesting for me. That'll correlate with the shedding that's happening now. As well as give you an idea of where DHT is going on cycle. That'll be interesting. I've got estradiol before and after 500 milligrams calcium glucarate. So that'll be interesting for us all. We'll talk about that on an actual video breakdown coming soon. And then I'm pretty sure that's all the labs that I've gotten for now, aside from progesterone, which may be relevant or may be irrelevant. I really don't know what that's going to be. So I was just curious to kind of run that. After some time on DHT gel, this will likely still be on cycle, but if it isn't, I'll make sure that people know that I will be running labs on DHT to see how effective the gel is. I know how effective it is acutely in terms of subjective effects, but how effective is it at raising serum DHT? That's going to be real interesting. So we'll be looking at that. I'll be doing experiments moving forward with actual DHT powder. Have that too. I don't want to take that right now. I'm not going to take that right now. So we'll be running labs on that to kind of see what that does to estrogen as well as to DHT. And that's about all I got for you boys. All right. Have a great evening. What is it, Wednesday? Yeah. I'll see you guys in the next couple days, likely either tomorrow or Friday for actual content. And then Saturday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern time, another live stream. Be there, be square. 9 a.m. Have notifications on. And I'll hope to see you there. I appreciate you guys being interested in this shit. Appreciate you watching. I hope you have a great rest of your night. Godspeed. And I'll talk to you super soon.